Hello and welcome to What Yacht To Do. We're on the bridge of the Here's to Us, and we are excited to begin the Erie Canal. We are going today from Waterford, which is the start of the Erie Canal, and we will be going westbound all the way up to Three Rivers Junction eventually, and then taking the Oswego. So this is the start of a series of locks. And the Erie Canal, to me, I read a lot about the Erie Canal. To me is I guess the thing that strikes me most is it was started in 1817, and it took, I guess they got it done in about 5 years. 1822 or so is when it was finished. But as you think back at that time, to me it's amazing what they did with just primitive machinery at that time. And they actually used mules to pull the canal boats through for 100 years, up until about 1918. So as I read through some of this and some of the things that you'll see along the way is, to me, it's amazing. But anyway, we are going through 6 locks today, and the first 5 of them are called the Waterford Flight. And they go through, and they're pretty closely spaced together. It's E2 through E6. Okay, so there's the 5 locks that are called the Waterford Flight. And we'll go up. Each lock is about 33 to 34 feet in rise, so it'll be quite a distance that we're going to be going up. Then we'll go for probably about 8 miles or so, and we'll hit another lock, lock 7, and then we'll duck into Schnectady and spend the night in Schnectady. So it's a beautiful day to go. There's not much to plan as far as weather, although, yesterday we had a little bit of wind go through. Today, I think the wind is most likely going to be, around at the maximum, about 10 miles per hour. And we'll be sheltered most of the way along the way, being in the canal, so not too big of a deal. A couple things I'd like to talk to you about as you're planning your great loop. If you haven't already done it, either Sea-Tow or Boat US. We like the Boat US. Okay, so get a Boat US membership. And one of the things that we found out is Boat US has unlimited, and that sounded good to us until we found out that, unlimited really isn't unlimited. There's unlimited gold. So the next year we went up to unlimited gold. There's not that much difference in price. But Boat US does a lot of great things with that money, and with unlimited gold you have so many perks that if you break down they can tow you just about anywhere. Another thing is called the Divers Alert Network, called Dan Boater. Get one of these. I think it's less than $100. I can't exactly remember how much we paid for that. But what that is if you have to get pulled off your boat for medical situation, Dan Network is out there and they reimburse you for the cost at some point. So read about the details of that. Just Google Dan Boater, DAN stands for Divers Alert Network. A couple of things that you should consider having: definitely the Boat US, and Dan Network I think is pretty cheap insurance. Another thing that you will need as you start to go through this Erie Canal is your registration number. They will ask you for your registration number. They did it when we went through the Troy lock. So have that handy so that you can kind of just rattle that off. I have ours memorized so that we'll give it to them. And you won't have to do it at every lock. They will pass your data down to the next lock. As I remember, we went through here last time. They're going to ask you what your destination is so that they can kind of give the lock masters an idea of what's coming, how many locks you will be going through. It's really unknown as to, our entire trip on this is in the COVID era. So we have found that some of the places are open with limited services. Some are not open. So we don't know, as far as Schenectady, what we're going to be faced with. We do know that we want to spend as much time as we can exploring the Erie Canal and just taking it easy, because last time we went through here, we were kind of on I wouldn't say we were rushed, but we wanted to get to Pirates Cove, which is at Three Rivers Junction, so that we could fly home to take care of some business. And so that kind of dampen things a little bit. So we are going to just take it easy and go through the Erie Canal and show you as much as we can about the Erie Canal, because it's unknown as to when we might be back in this great area. Also, it's a different time of the year. Most loopers are going through this in late May, early June. So here we are in September, getting the boat up to Thousand Island so she can go inside for the winter and sleep and get things done on her. Speed limits on the Erie Canal generally plan on 5 miles per hour through the lock areas and those types. They'll have them posted. I think there's a couple exceptions there where there's some open areas where you can go as high as 30 miles per hour, but it's clearly posted, and really respect that, because not only do you have other boaters out there, you have walls and those types of things, and docks along the way that you don't want to cause any erosion there. So be mindful of that as you go through the Erie Canal. We're excited to get going on here. Rev and I took a trip up to Lock 2 the other day, and what we saw was a lot of debris in the lock. So one of the things we said is, hey, we're not going to use the thrusters as much as we normally do, because we had an incident on the Erie Canal where, on the Illinois River in a lock, and a stick went through our bow thruster. So we don't really see a need to be using the thrusters a lot when there's a lot of debris in there and could take out our propeller on our thruster. Bridges along the Erie Canal, all well within the capabilities as far as height go of our boat. Know your boat height, and if you have to fold things down, fold them down. I've looked at it today, and everything is clearly marked. If you get one of these handouts that you can get at the visitor center, it tells you all the bridges, it gives you the phone numbers and all those types of things. And then highly recommend the Skipper Bob publication. Even though Skipper Bob has passed on, Waterway Guide has taken that over, and it's a great publication to kind of read along as you're going along the Erie Canal and knowing the heights of the bridges. Phone numbers for all the locks, and communicating that way. They are on channel 13, so we'll be doing that. That's about it. There's no tide. We don't have to worry about the tide. We've talked about the wind, the weather. We've done a trip down in the engine room, taking a look at things, and the next thing we're going to be doing is making a call to the lock and seeing what it looks like for transit. As I'm peering at the lock walls up there, it looks like it's just about ready for those gates to open to take us through. So we'll give them a call. And Rev, are you about ready to gather the lines?
Ready.
All right, Rev is ready and I'm ready, so let's get going.